Hang the banner, folks. The Eagles are champions of the NFC East. For the first time in over 2 decades, there's a repeat division title winner.
And that means we are playoff bound once again. We'll look ahead to our championship matchup, a preview potentially of a championship matchup, and a potential postseason matchup for the love of Broad Street.
Broad Street, welcome back to the show. I'm Jake, that's Marshall. Eat your heart out, Cowboys fans. You'll have to watch the Birds this January, thanks to a relatively smooth 29-18 win over the Commanders.
And really putting the icing on the cake here, the Cowboys lost 34-17 to the Chargers just to send it home. Dallas sucks. Just
it was
let them know.
It was such a good way, like, because we played on the Saturday, March, and it was like, oh my, we knew we were in. So the Cowboys game didn't really like mean anything per se, but for them to just get buried, and they weren't really sitting anyone either.
Yeah,
it was just the perfect weekend. It was perfect.
It was, but it wasn't perfect from the start. First play of the game, first touching of the ball, if you will, in this game is a fumble and puts the Eagles in a bad spot. Will Shipley returns it, basically gifts the Commanders 3 points. And I, for one, I don't know how you were feeling at that point, Jake, but I was like, oh, we could be in real big trouble because this is a game that ended at the half 10-7. Eagles were down.
Yeah, so I wasn't worried per se, but the thought that was in my head was, even when we were bad, I'm thinking like Chip Kelly era, like when we're really stinky. I still don't remember a time since I've been paying attention to the Eagles, call it like 25 years, where we had this many problems on kick returns.
Yeah,
like,
it's been bad.
We're a solid team. We're one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. We can't find a guy to catch a kickoff and not fumble it.
Yeah.
Which is mind-boggling to me. Like, and it's not even like Shipley is a bad player. Like, he's a running back. He knows how to carry. It's just, for some reason, like, our kickoff game is cursed, and I don't know why.
I think it might be the new formation, Jake. I mean, we're coming into this season with a new way to field these, a new set of rules when it comes to the touchback. We saw in this game as well, Will Shipley taking one out that he should not have taken out of the end zone.
Yeah, that was so
just
dumb.
Kind of stumbling into the field of play.
Yeah, I fear it was like Covey or someone was like, stay in
no.
there. Yeah.
Didn't work out. But, after this kind of lull to start the game, the Eagles start to pick it up. The most impressive drive of the game to me was that second drive that the Eagles had. And it was a 7-play, 76-yard drive, putting it together through the air. And the thing that really made it much more encouraging was the way that we were using A.J. Brown. Not that A.J. Brown was getting the catches, because we've seen him get the catches. It was the way we're using him, lining him up in the slot, getting him in a position where he can catch the ball, run, break tackles, and make plays over the middle of the field. It feels like for the majority of this season, Jake, we just have not been using the middle of the field. And it's been inexplicable. Like, you put your best receivers in there against linebackers. Put them against Frankie Louvu in this game and see what they can do. We saw the benefit of that in a big way against a Commanders team that was really down on its luck, losing its quarterback in this game as well.
Yeah, ironically, I think about the Cowboys when you talk about wide receiver uses and utilized in the middle of the field. Where's CeeDee Lamb most dangerous? When they put him in the slot, right? Like, he's almost unguardable in there. And it's like, it's so weird when you have a team that excels that much in your division doing that, and no one thought, hey, why don't we just try that and see how it works? And then they do it in this game, and he goes 9 catches for 95 yards, half of the receiving yards. Jalen Hurts threw for 185. A.J. Brown had 95 of them. So, like, clearly something was working here. And I want to ask you, is this another Raiders game? Are the Commanders just that bad that we were looking solid offensively because they're bad? Or that's 2 games in a row now where we've looked really solid. Granted, two not great teams, but still, the scheme looks like it's cooking. Marsh.
Right. I mean, this is a tough one because again, the Commanders just weeks prior to facing the Eagles had played a very tough Denver Broncos team to overtime and were in
Right.
position to beat them in
True.
overtime if Mariota lofts the ball a little bit and gets it over top of the linebacker Benito there. But
Mm.
you're looking at this team. They still had the fire. I think that the Raiders. This was different than the Raiders to me
Yeah,
because
they
the
looked
Raiders are
cooked.
like, yeah, the Raiders are like, we are done. I don't even want to be here. 31-0. They just laid down.
Si-
The Commanders didn't have that
sidebar.
as much. Yeah,
Sidebar. Did you see the Texans struggle with them? That was weird.
I
Did
know.
we just dominate them, or like what happened there? Was it maybe just because it was Pickett's first game off the bench? Like I don't know, but that
Is
looked
that a
like a different
divisional
Raiders
opponent,
team.
Jake? Is that a divisional
Uh,
opponent for them? I think they're
maybe,
are they in the same
yeah.
division?
The AFC is just so like beyond my scope.
I
I
agree.
barely pay attention to it.
Yeah, but if it was, I mean that would I think explain some of it. That
Perhaps, yeah,
that they're potentially in the same division. Maybe they're not. I can't remember exactly off the
yeah,
top of my head. But either way, it's an AFC opponent. You're looking at that for seeding. Maybe they have a longer standing beef with
it is
the
not.
Texans.
They are not divisional. AFC South for the Texans, AFC West for the
Okay,
Raiders. So I
okay.
have no idea what can explain that. Because I watched that Raiders game and I was just thinking this is a bad football team.
Yeah,
And the Texans, by the way, are 10-5, just like us.
right.
So I'm part of that. I think this is just my opinion. I think the AFC is much weaker than the NFC this
I
year.
would agree. I would agree.
So that might be part of it. Also, they're playing the Titans twice. The Texans are, so that
Yeah,
might account for something. But still, I
yeah.
mean, it was just a different look for me.
Yeah, back to this game though. The Commanders, they come into this, they still have that chip on their shoulder. We forget,
True.
but they still have that chip on their shoulder from last year's NFC Championship slaughter at the
Yeah.
link. And those players, they remember what happened there. The Bobby Wagners, the Frankie Louvu's, that Sandra Still, that secondary, they remember what happened there. They are playing to try and embarrass an Eagles team that embarrassed them. And they
Yeah.
were not able to do that. They were outnumbered, outgunned, I think outmanned in this game. And one of the things that was encouraging to me as well, Jake, especially in that second half, you saw some good runs, some positive runs out of Saquon Barkley, but the way that he ran in the second half of this football game, I think bodes
Mm.
well for the Eagles the rest of the way. That touchdown run, Jake, one of the best runs that I have seen out of Saquon Barkley since he joined this franchise. A 12-yard run, but he takes on 6 guys by himself to
Did
get
you
to that
see
touchdown.
there was a freeze frame going viral on social media where it was like there's two commanders
Yeah.
between him and the end line, and the post was just Saquon scored on this play.
Yeah.
It looks unbelievable. Like there's
Right.
no way that guy scores there, and he did somehow. Because for all of the woes that we've had, I blame them mostly on the offensive line.
Hmm.
He is still the most electric running back in the league,
I would think
and
so. Yeah.
and you can see why. I mean, he just single-handedly basically scored that. There's no other way to put it other than I'm pretty sure he's the only guy in the league that scores on that play.
Maybe outside of a very healthy Derrick Henry, but the
But
way
maybe
that is,
5 years ago,
yeah,
though,
I
like
know.
I just this year I don't see it. This year I will plant my flag in the ground. That is a Saquon Barkley only touchdown.
I
Nobody else
agree.
could do that.
So earlier in the game, Jake, you'll remember maybe Saquon had a play where he got down to the one. It looked like he had scored, but he didn't actually
Right,
score.
and they reviewed it
And they reviewed it and everything. But what I saw on the sideline, I thought was interesting, and it was Jamal Singleton, the Eagles running backs coach, talking to Saquon and doing one of these, putting his finger up underneath his chin. And to me,
Ooh,
that meant you're not facing the opponent, you're not keeping your eyes forward, you're not keeping your balance, the way it should be to keep moving. And I think
right.
Saquon took that as a challenge and then showed Jamal Singleton, all right, I'm going to stay with my feet
Yeah.
moving forward. I'm going to keep my eyes, like keep that center of gravity in the right spot and push forward. Um, that and the incredible 48-yard run with the spin move as soon as he gets the
That was
ball,
wild.
there's a guy right in his face, spins out of it, and then he's making people miss down the field, and he gets a great block from Devontae Smith. That was the other encouraging thing, Jake.
Mm.
Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown making big blocks in the running game down the field, making effort plays in the running game. That's
Yeah.
what really set the Eagles up to win this game, controlling the clock, controlling the ball in the second half. They literally ran away with it.
Yeah, and the thing that was encouraging for me is that it wasn't all just inside zone from the shotgun, right? He was under center a little bit more. There was a little bit more of a synchronicity between like the run game playing off the pass game. And that's all the stuff that we've talked about all year that Kevin Petula wasn't doing well enough before. I think he is doing well enough now. And again, how much of it is it because it's the Commanders who have a
Right.
really banged up defense? I don't know. But just from a pure play calling perspective, and I don't want to say that this was the right thing to do, but can we all agree that since Patullo's house got egged, it's been much better? I don't want the guy's house to get egged, but it worked. There's no other way to put it other than post egging, it's
Yeah,
been better.
it has been
It
better.
really has.
The Eagles' offense and Saquon Barkley in general have been trending the right direction, I think, for a
Yeah.
couple of months now. I mean, his yards per game have been up by 30 yards compared to the earlier part of the season, the first 7 games, last 8 games, it's been up by a good margin. And it feels like the run game is finally coming together. We have a little bit more consistency on the line when it comes to who is in. Fred Johnson still playing well. Again, really, I mean, he's given up 1 sack in his time.
Yeah.
That is an incredible spell for one of the best right tackles in the game. But I think the offensive line play has been better, and the scheme has helped the offensive line to succeed even more. The other thing, Jake, and we cannot forget this aspect, but Jalen Hurts and his threat even to run the ball
Yeah,
make this
exactly.
a better offense. You have to have that backside contained linebacker. The guy who is that read player has to think that Jalen Hurts could hold on to that ball. Has to for this offense to succeed. And as of late, because the Eagles have been running Jalen Hurts more, we have seen that backside linebacker stop or go right to Jalen Hurts. And that has opened up lanes for Saquon Barkley. And if the opposite is true, you're going to, go to Saquon, then it's Jalen Hurts out the side for 10 yards. I think that is the element that has been missing for pretty much the duration of this season. And really since the Chargers game, I would say, the Eagles have made more of an effort to put that in the game plan, and it's worked. The other thing, Jake, the empty backfield, spreading five wide. The drive
That
was
one
successful.
drive, yeah, they were cranking that over and over. I loved it because that's the thing is you are forcing the defense at that point to either make an individual effort play,
Yeah.
which as an Eagles coach, I love because I would take my players over your players in like probably 95% of the league.
Yeah.
Or they have to put a spy in there somewhere, and then there's no help on the outside.
Right.
So go ahead, pick your poison. I
Right.
love that scheme, and I don't think we do it enough. And when I saw it in this game, I was over the moon. I loved it.
Yeah, me too. Because Jalen Hurts, again, the threat to run, it's almost like you've got a running back in the backfield anyway.
Right.
So you've got Saquon split out to the side. You could still motion him in. You could get a jet sweep with him. You could motion him into the backfield again. Do whatever you need to there. He's still on the field, right? But that also allows you to put a guy like Jahan Dotson on the outside, a guy like Saquon on the outside. And now you're getting slant routes. You're getting, crossing routes. You're getting all sorts of different concepts available over the middle with your two best receivers, AJ and Devontae, not to mention Dallas Goedert coming through with a beautiful touchdown catch in this game too. But that to me was, again, promising. We needed to be building, right? We knew we were not going to come into this game, and I don't think either of us were expecting to lose this game. We both picked the Eagles to win in this game, but I think to me this was about stacking wins, gaining confidence on offense. the margin, you were really close. You said 31-17. It was
Yeah, how about
29-18.
it?
But what the eye test was the more important thing to me than the margin at
Mm.
the end of the day. They were passing the eye test in the second half. And, Jalen Hurts made some good throws in this game again. The throw to Dallas Goedert stands out. They were also able to overcome penalties for the first time, Jake. That
Yeah,
touchdown pass to A.J. Brown, or to Dallas Goedert, I should say, that was after a penalty that knocked the
a
Eagles
back-breaking
back.
penalty. Yeah,
Yes.
we were touchdown on the board and it was taken
Yep.
off, which is usually a killer. I feel like most of the time that happens, that ends up in a field goal for some reason.
Right. And so the Eagles were able to traverse that and make a conversion there, which again, a promising sign in in a season full of not so promising moments for this Eagles offense.
Yeah, and to defend Jalen Hurts, he also threw a perfect ball to Devontae Smith
He
that he
did.
did not catch.
He did.
And like that's just one of those. Even as a Jalen Hurts critic myself, I was just like, where else do you want to put that ball? I
Yep.
mean, he could have walked over and dropped it there. It wouldn't have been much different.
Yeah. And Devontae ends up making a score in this game anyway on a
Right.
beautiful, like, kind of juke you out of your shoes move to get
Yeah.
to the front pylon there. Um, and we can't go away from talking about the offense without talking about Tank Bigsby, because
That dude is unreal. He's
unbelievable
unreal.
to have him in that backfield. He is so underutilized, I think, in this scheme. But I
Yeah.
loved him getting into the end zone on that play. A beautiful, like, kind of toss play to the outside. He makes a couple juke moves and then he's off to the races. Great blocking downfield. I mean, Landon Dickerson is running all the way through the middle of the field right there. Like,
Right.
nobody's near him. When that's happening, this is going to be a positive play.
Yeah.
But then to see Saquon be out there as one of the first guys off the
Yeah,
sideline,
sprinting to him.
just getting there with his positivity. I mean, Saquon's such a great team guy too.
Yeah.
I like the way that this is working now. I like the way that the direction they're heading in. The next test is going to be what happens with the Bills. We'll get to that in a moment. But let's talk about some negatives for a second, Jake.
Yeah.
Because a guy with your he's a Jake brother, if you will.
Yeah, right. He's in the clan.
If there was a meeting of the Jakes,
Right.
you and he would be together. Jake Elliott. Some are saying out there he is the worst kicker in the NFL right now. Statistically, it's looking that way. How do you feel about the old Jake
It's
the
just,
Make, as you call
this
him?
is one of those like where it's such an uncomfortable truth because I see the stats. I'm a stats guy, so when I
Yeah.
look, I just go, "Yikes!"
Yeah,
But like he's been so good for so
I
long,
know.
and you're just like, what's happening?
Hmm.
And here's the thing: you look at the stat, like you want to talk about stats. This game, he's 0 for 2 from on field goals
Right,
on the record.
right.
He was 0 for 3 because we had one wiped off the board that he missed.
Yeah, a 57 yarder. There's a
So
flag. It goes to 52. He misses again.
right, and listen, you can't say, he missed a 57-yarder, kick him out. That's not
Yeah,
the point. The
yeah.
point is, it's not one, it's not two, it's three in one
Hmm.
game. And luckily, it wasn't a game where you needed it. But we're about to enter the playoffs.
Yeah,
We need those 6 points,
yeah.
like really bad.
We do.
And you just can't leave those on the board. And listen, at 57 yards, if he doesn't hit another 57-yard field goal in his career, I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah,
But when you're missing under 50 in the NFL,
50 and in, you're in trouble.
it's hard to look. You start looking around and forget the NFL. Look at the top kickers in college.
Hmm.
Those guys are hitting those field goals at like unprecedented rates.
Yeah,
So not only is it, oh, there's better in the NFL, you're just like, I could pull some random kid off the couch who was kicking it like Purdue last year
hmm,
and get equal, if not better, performance. And that's where you start looking around going like, can we afford to keep Jake in there? Here's the problem. We gave him a fat contract extension. Fat for a kicker.
hmm.
And like, I hate to bring this up, but you know who's in a contract year, Marshall? Brandon Aubrey.
Ooh.
He is making 1 million right now. we're paying Jake a lot more than that.
Yep. Yep.
And you start going,
Yeah, maybe. See,
eh.
I think you might go draft before that, but before we get there, let's talk about the present, Jake. Can you move off of a kicker who in
No.
previous postseasons he's 26 to 27, I think, in the postseason.
Yeah. Here's the problem. What I love, I stand by the fact that there's a ton of Division One kickers that could do equally well in the
Yeah.
NFL. You don't want those guys in the playoffs.
No. There's no one more clutch than Jake throughout his career.
Right. This is when the bad part is he's trending down. But if you believe in the whole like old school, like get the misses out of the way,
Right.
then this is great.
Yeah.
Because miss all you want in this game. Miss all you want against the Commanders in the last game.
Yep. Yep.
If you're not missing the playoffs, I don't really care. But it's real. It's disconcerting because again, forget the 57, the 52 he should be hitting,
And the 46 or whatever it was.
That he
42.
need that's like in the NFL. That's like those need to be like 98%.
Those are gimmies.
Unfortunately, right? That's crazy to say, but it's true.
And especially this year, Jake, we've talked about it. The range for kickers has been much, much longer.
Right. That you talk about that kicking ball change that we had this year, and you just look at like the stats across the league are up, and Jake is going down.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense, right? Like he should you should at least be.
Don't let him work the balls in, Jake. Don't let him work the balls in.
Yeah, never mind. Give him the hard as a rock ball from the quarterback and let him hit that thing because he was killing it with those. Yeah, it's just one of those where it's like, I felt like this when David Akers started, missing kicks.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I don't want to say it, but he's got to go.
I know.
And I'm not there yet, but we are approaching it very, very quickly and much more quickly than I'd like to. And let's talk about this. I think that's the reason why we went for 2 and there was an all-out brawl. I'm going to be honest. Nick Sirianni can say all he wants. He was like, oh, we were trying to work in our good, but no, it wasn't. It was because Jake Elliott was missing and you didn't want him to miss again and make it be an even bigger story.
I really think that that's the case too, Jake. I think you're right. You're right.
And all the fallout from that, because, Steen started swinging. He could have gotten like a 5-game suspension. Who knows? And Saquon got in there. Luckily, Jalen Hurts had the wherewithal to yank him out of there. Jalen Hurts
and Bobby Wagner apparently were like both talking to Saquon saying, hey, you don't want to get in there. Like the fine, the potential, suspension. You don't want to do that.
Forget the fine. Like we got big games coming up.
Commanders aren't going to do anything. Commanders can fight all they want.
Right, they can
eject as many of them as you want.
Right, go ahead. And Steen, like I love the attitude from Steen saying, "Oh, I'd do it again." No, don't be stupid. They are playing for nothing. They're garbage. They are scum beneath your toes. Don't punch them. It's so frustrating.
But it's tough, Jake, because at the same time, you appreciate that he has the fire in him, right? You appreciate that. I still think it's stupid. I still think it is. You appreciate that he's like, going for his guys, because the way that it started to me, Jake, and I don't know how if you viewed this part, but like it was just kind of like Darius Cooper kind of getting pushed around a little bit on the offensive line.
Grabbed his face mask.
Grabbed his face mask, and then it turns into all the big boys get involved, and then now we got guys in there throwing punches, and then Tyler Steen is going at people, and all these defensive linemen coming back in.
The thing that makes me mad is that it was Samer still that started it, and he doesn't get kicked out. I was like, refs, what are you doing?
Yep.
Like he's got to go. Forget I know the other 2 guys were swinging, so obviously they got to go too. But like he's the problem, and the thing that really annoys me is that when it comes to Steen, it's not that he did it in the heat of the moment. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't like that he, after the fact, when his head has cooled, has said, "Oh no, I'd do it again." No. No. This is like one of and Saquon, I think, learned from it. That was like really good for him to have this kind of thing happen in a game that doesn't really matter. And like I said, Hurts came in and yanked him out of there.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. I think Saquon said this. What's it worth? A couple of punches to a guy with a helmet on?
Right. I know.
This is one of the rare times when I can say I actually have experience with this. It doesn't hurt. I've gotten punched with a helmet on. Literally can't feel it.
That's the whole point of the helmet.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's not satisfying. You don't like show that guy that you're tougher than him. It's literally just like someone doing this. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. I just it's not worth it. I don't like that Steen doubles down. You're gonna be in more tense situations in a few weeks than that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Steen's got to grow up a little bit personally.
You know what else you have experience in that some of the Commanders might not? It's tackling Saquon Barkley. That's
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's funny. I wondered how long it would be before that came out. That's funny. Yeah.
This guy back in high school was taking down
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
a small version.
Yeah, I like telling everybody that I have one tackle on Saquon Barkley, but it was like I weighed more than him. Like I was probably 180. He might have been like 160. So people envision like this like 230-pound monster that he is now. It wasn't that version. He was, I think we were sophomores or juniors or something like that. But yeah, it was not the same guy.
No, not at
Lucky
all.
for me, because I would have been dead.
Not at all. So, hey, the Eagles head out to Buffalo now. Cold weather game. The Eagles have fared pretty well in cold weather games as of late, dating back to last season, the season before. They've done pretty well. And they've done, honestly, in Jalen Hurts' career, he's performed very well against top-tier NFL quarterback talent, I would say.
Yeah.
Josh Allen being one of them. Think back to 2023, the overtime win in Philadelphia in that very rainy contest where Jalen Hurts has a quarterback draw play to seal it and win it for the Eagles. We're looking at this game, though. It's got a lot of implications for both the Eagles and the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills are in a really red-hot playoff run. They are down in their division to the New England Patriots, maybe the surprise, like the darlings of the season outside of the Denver Broncos.
Right.
They need this win just as much as the Eagles need this win, maybe even more than the Eagles need this win because
More,
Eagles already
I'd
have
say.
that.
Yeah.
Eagles already have it locked up when it comes to the division. But for seeding, we're still looking at where are we
Right.
going to stack here. What are your early thoughts about this contest Sunday afternoon after a Saturday game? The Eagles get an extra day of rest.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to say in something that has changed from last week is I was kind of looking ahead going, oh, we can sit these guys versus the Bills.
Yeah.
And now, just based on the way things are stacking out, I kind of thought this would be decided. I really thought the Rams would beat the Seahawks.
Me too. I did too. They probably should have, Jake.
Yeah. And it was a lot like I don't want to say it's not like a huge change, right? Because they would have been 12-3 and then the Seahawks would have been 11-4. It's not like a massive difference in terms of like where we sit.
Yeah.
But I say this from purely a perspective of like, I really don't want to play the Rams. Like,
Yeah.
I really, really don't want to play the Rams.
Yeah, me either.
And the thing that has changed, in my opinion, is now I'm like, oh, we could really do with winning these last two games. Not for nothing. The Bears are only 11-4. That two
Right.
seed, the one seed is, while it's not, I think
No,
actually,
it's
I think
gone.
we're
It's
completely
gone.
eliminated.
Yep.
Yeah, we are completely
Totally eliminated because even if we make it a 12-3, they, if we
Right.
make it to 12 wins.
12-5. Yeah.
They already have 12 wins. We don't have a tiebreaker against the
Right.
Seattle Seahawks. We would have it against the Los Angeles Rams.
Right. So that is done, but that two seed is it's not super in play, but it is a possibility.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, you win to go to 11-5, and let's say that somehow the two seed becomes untouchable. Now you can rest everybody in the last week of the season.
Right.
Whereas if you lose this game, now you start looking over your shoulder. There is a small possibility, but a possibility that you can get leapfrogged by the Panthers. So now the thing that's changed for me is we are in you gotta win mode. We're getting a boost from Lane Johnson. We're getting Jalen Carter back. It's trending the direction you want to. However, you are going to Buffalo and you're playing a
In December.
hungry Bills team. Yeah. A Bills team that to your point, needs a win much more than we do. Because those pesky Texans that we were just talking about are sitting at 10-5.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, one game out from the Bills right now. The Bills lose that game, it's uh-oh mode. So it's gonna be like a playoff game
It
to be
is.
quite frank. It's
It
gonna
is.
be nice to see it 2 weeks early as well.
Here's my thought, Jake, on we're going to talk about here. Do we sit? Do we start? What do we do here with the
Yeah,
personnel? I think most everybody has to start. And if you have Lane Johnson back and he's healthy, I think they've held him out maybe a little longer, knowing that they had a good chance probably to beat the Commanders and maybe even going back to last week to beat the Raiders. I think if those two games were winnable or games that they felt like they needed Johnson to play in order to win, he might have been in the lineup.
very good point. Yeah,
But I think that they've held him long enough now that, him playing this game makes sense because this is your last real test of the season. Who I don't want to see on Sunday, and this is number one because of his injury history and because of who he's backed up by, is Nakobe Dean. I don't want to
that's a good
see
shout.
Nakobe Dean. He has this hamstring issue. He has
Yeah,
said it's not going to be that
sit out.
big of a thing, but when you're talking about important players on this defense, he is up there, I think, in the top 5 because ever
Yeah,
since he came back in the lineup, we've been talking about it. The run defense has been stout. His play has been way better, and there is a little bit of a drop off when you go down to number 30 in Jahad Campbell, but I don't think it's enough of a drop off that you're
well,
scared.
and let's have an anatomy and physiology talk here. You're talking about a soft tissue injury in Buffalo
Right.
in December.
Yeah.
You cannot keep a hamstring warm enough.
No.
Even if it's healthy, you can't keep it warm enough, let alone if it's already tweaked a little bit. I would like that is a no-brainer for me to shut him down because forget just if your hamstrings tweaked at all, the general consensus is you probably shouldn't go in the Buffalo winter.
The frozen tundra of Buffalo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're underselling it. It's like a frozen hellscape up there. Just don't play. Just don't do it.
I don't think so. So to me, Jalen Carter coming back in, I think helps. But man, Jordan Davis has been playing out of his stinking mind for this team.
Can we just talk about the guy that said he was going to have a huge year?
Yep. Oh, you did it. He did it. He said, first episode, my big shot for the year. This is my hot take. Jordan Davis, monster year.
Yeah.
And this guy has been right. Got snubbed, I think, in the Pro Bowl voting. I don't understand why Jalen Carter is getting in instead of Jordan Davis.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Not that I know Jalen Carter's probably pound for pound more
the
talented,
better player.
But if you're just looking at stats this season, it's got to be Davis for me.
It's got to be
whatever.
Davis. Yeah, him coming back alongside. I'm excited to see this version of Jordan Davis, a more confident version of Jordan Davis, a slimmer version of Jordan Davis. I loved his post-game interview with John Clark on NBC Sports Philadelphia. He was talking about how he just feels better. He feels lighter. He's breathing better. He's moving better. He feels like he can give more to this team. That's all that's positives moving down the road, especially if you get Jalen back and he's got, healthy shoulders that can really finally get the push that I don't think he was having earlier in the year because the shoulders were messed up.
Yeah. And the reason I made that prediction was specifically because he dropped weight and he can play more snaps.
Yeah.
Right. Because the problem was, he would come in there on first down, stuff the run. Great job, Jordan. And then second down, you could tell he was gassed already. And then third down, he gets yoinked. So he wasn't fulfilling any type of meaningful, not that stopping the run's not meaningful, but he wasn't in those big pressure situations. And now he can be. And like you said, when he's not right now on money downs, he's playing next to Brandon Graham, who's 100 years old.
Right.
And Brandon
getting
Graham's
sacks too, by the way.
because they're double teaming Davis.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do when Carter comes back?
Exactly.
I got to double him and I got to double him.
Yeah.
Which means I either need a running back here or we got to pick one, which is it's that's how you win championships. When you have too many guys for the other team to cover. And when Carter comes back, if he comes back healthy, knock on wood, you're gonna have to keep a guy home, tight end, running back, whatever, one less guy to cover.
Yeah, and I think that is crucial, especially when you talk about this secondary play, because when
Oh
you
yeah.
have a running back in the backfield and or an extra blocker in there, let's say you pull a tight end in to do blocking, he's not going out for a pattern. Running back's not
Right.
going out for a pattern. That's one less guy to cover. That's one less guy for Nakobe Dean or Zach Bond in the middle to worry about. And then you're just getting one-on-ones or good double team zone coverage on the outside against two of the best cornerbacks in the league in Cooper DeJean and Quinyon
Two
Mitchell, two Pro
Pro
Bowlers.
Bowlers,
Let's go.
which, the last time we had a cornerback in the Pro Bowl that we drafted, this is a
Lito
fun fact.
Shepherd.
Yeah, in 2006. 2006. It's almost 2 decades
That's
since we've had
crazy.
a homegrown corner in the Pro Bowl, which is just equal parts embarrassing and sad. But
Yeah.
the record's been corrected. There's two of them now. Take that, NFL.
Here's the other thing, Jake. Let's just pause on this defense for a second. You mentioned the homegrown stat.
Yeah.
Think about the names on this defense and where they came from. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. We're just talking about how good they are,
Draft.
both for the draft. We've got Zach Bond, who was a pickup from the Saints,
Who was a castaway to put it frankly.
unsung guy.
Yeah.
Behind him, we've got Jahad Campbell, who is shaping up to be one of the better rookie linebackers through the draft, and Nakobe Dean through the draft. In the back end, we've got Reed Blankenship through the draft, late round pick.
Was he even drafted? Was he undrafted?
6 or 7. Oh, he might have been undrafted.
He might have even been undrafted, which is
you're right. I think he is undrafted.
So think about how angry the rest of the league would be just looking around at because if there's any position in the NFL that I would call not weak, but there's less superstars in it. Safety is the big one because you look around and it's like Buda Baker,
right,
and the guy from the Steelers, I can't think of his name. And then
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, right.
Still there?
And then he got traded, but him and then Reed
Who else?
Blankenship.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're talking about Andrew Makuba, who's another Eagles draft pick. That's and then I think maybe Marcus Epps might even be an Eagles draft pick.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So, might be.
That's a good question.
But then the only guy you're thinking about on this defense, Jake, that's really an addition is Jalen Phillips. And then you're talking about your corner room. You're talking about the Michael Carter and the Adoree Jackson acquisition.
Right.
Outside of that, this whole team, Moro Ojomo, this whole team is built through the draft on defense, and they are the youngest, and they might be, especially at this point in the season, the very best. What the Commanders lack, this is the difference between the two franchises. What the Commanders lack is an ability to draft, build, retain talent. They cannot do it. Their formula for success last year only worked for last year, in my opinion, because they were picking up older players who were already past their prime, who were prone to injury, and it showed up in a big way, in a negative way for them this year. The oldest franchise in the league happens to have the most catastrophic injuries in the league. So I think that is what the Eagles and what Howie Roseman have done so well for so long, is making sure that your young guys, your up-and-coming talent, you're always rebuilding that base. And the Eagles have depth now because of that ability to draft. They're not paying this defense a ton of money yet. Jalen Carter's contract is coming up soon. And I think because of the injuries and some other things, we might get a little bit of a discount on him next year, which could be a benefit. But think about the names on this defense. They're all kind of on rookie contracts other than Zach Bond. I mean, Zach Bond and Kobe Dean, I think he's still on his, is he still on his rookie deal?
Yeah, I think he's on his rookie deal, but we're going to have to fix that. So, but still, I mean, point taken. Yeah. Hey, what's funny is that our buddy Garrett was hanging out with me this weekend, and we were talking. He said, imagine if we had gotten Myles Garrett.
Right.
And I said, no.
Yeah.
Here's why. They wanted 2 firsts and I think 2 seconds for him.
Yeah.
Think about this. Imagine down the line, you could be missing out on two Quinyon Mitchells
Hmm.
and two Cooper DeJeans.
Right.
And he went, oh.
Yeah.
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 And you just cause like this was the huge knock on Howie Roseman for so long. He's trying to outthink the room and he's picking these dumb wide receivers.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if that was just a positional problem or if he had some type of change in philosophy,
Hmm.
but ever since that draft where he said, "I'm done playing this game, I'm going to go get AJ Brown."
Yeah.
Ever since that draft, I forget what year it was,
It was
he has just
21,
yeah,
22.
he just doesn't miss.
Yeah.
Even like let's talk about like Johnny Wilson. If not for injury, he very well may have been playing a huge role on this team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
to the point where you're forgetting about all these other guys that they drafted so well. And I don't know what changed. I don't know if maybe they had some like scouting director come in. Who knows?
Right.
But we're at the point now where I'm just like, oh, if we're trading away draft capital, don't even bother. I don't care
Yep.
because we have been so good at getting the right guys, and you're seeing it. I mean, literally, to your point, this entire defense, which is top five in the league, in my opinion, it's the best,
Hmm.
is almost entirely draft.
Yep. Incredible. I was just thinking about that today on the drive home from work. Just like, wait a minute. Think about what this is. This is
Yeah.
not just something that happens organically, right? This isn't something that just comes to be. This takes a lot of work. This takes a lot of study. This takes expertise from the front office, and they have shown that in the last 5 years, and that's why the Eagles have been
And
dominant in this
and you know
decade.
it's not something that happens anymore. That like
Yeah,
a wholly homegrown defense is something of like
very
the
rare.
early 2000s.
Hmm.
That's not a thing anymore. You
No,
look around the league and you like Super Bowl teams have just been very good about looking around and picking the right guys.
right, right.
And for it to be like most almost 100% homegrown is crazy.
So the defense is going to have to show up on Sunday against the Buffalo
Yes.
Bills and Josh Allen. The passing attack, a formidable one. No longer are the threats of Stephon Diggs and what's that guy's name? The old cowboy who used to play for the Bills, number 11. The guy was a rapper. I can't remember his name. He's the worst.
I don't know who you're
The
talking
little,
about.
the little white slant receiver or slot receiver.
Oh,
I can't remember his name.
oh, now I
Jeez.
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, he
Um,
doesn't matter. He's irrelevant. But they're all gone, and now it's defending James Cook. All right, I think he is going to
yeah,
be
right.
a big key to this game, stopping James Cook. This is a Bills team that's coming off of just a 3-point victory against a Browns team that has almost no offense to speak of. I think this is a
Yeah.
middling defense for the Buffalo Bills.
That yeah, you're being generous.
Yeah, if nothing else, lower in the pack defense. But what they don't have in defense, they make up for in offense and have all year with another stellar season from Josh Allen, who might be supplanting himself as the best quarterback in football.
Especially like now that you see it now, I know Lamar Jackson's had some issues with injury this year, but like forget stats, you just look game by game. I mean, I don't think it's an argument anymore. Like Josh Allen just sometimes just drags his team to victory.
Yeah,
And in a way that you don't really see other than like maybe Joe Burrow.
right.
Which is and listen, you put Josh Allen against Joe Burrow just in terms of raw athleticism. Sorry to all the Bengals fans out there, but give me Josh Allen.
Yeah, I would agree. So this is again a matchup in Buffalo, always tough conditions to play in, and I think that this is going to be one where the Eagles rush offense will need to show up again. Tank
Yeah,
Bigsby,
big time.
heavy dose of Tank Bigsby, heavy dose of Saquon Barkley in this game, heavy dose of Jalen Hurts, pulling the read option plays,
Scrambling around.
making more
Yeah.
scrambles, maybe some designed runs from the Eagles. I
Yeah.
expect a lot, especially because there's a potential that this could get very windy as well on
Ooh,
Sunday.
yeah, I didn't see that. That could be a big
So
game changer.
another thing to watch out for because the passing offenses might not be having optimum conditions out there on the field.
Yeah.
So, what are we thinking here, Jake? What's your prediction for this game?
See this like I worry because I really think we do better in low scoring games. I think we know how to win in a
Yeah.
way that most teams don't. Um, and I worry that this is not going to be like that. Um, I'm going to go against the grain here, and I'm going to
Mm,
pick the Bills.
okay.
I think the Bills are going to win because we're going to get in a shootout. And no offense to Jalen Hurts, I like Josh Allen more in a shootout than I like
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts.
that's fair.
So I think it's going to be, give me like a 38, 35 win for the
Okay.
Bills
High score. You think
in
the Eagles
Buffalo.
can score that many points? That's crazy,
Yes, I
Jake.
do because only because it's the Bills defense. And if you full disclosure, I have James Cook in fantasy. So I've watched a lot of Bills games this
Hmm.
year,
Hmm.
and I feel so badly for Bills fans because like they have lost some games this year where you're like, how can we score this much and still lose?
Yep.
It's just I remember it from the Chip Kelly days, and that's why I ache for them, that whole
Yeah.
fan base, because I
Yeah.
remember where you are now, and it was not fun. It was horrible.
It's bad. Yeah, it's really bad. I will take the Eagles in this game, and I'll tell you why. I think the Eagles defense is poised and ready for a matchup like this. I think the Eagles defense has proven throughout the course of
I
the
hope
season
so.
that they are able to stop what are otherwise seen as high-powered offenses. They make the high-powered offenses look like piddling little offenses with no quarterback play. They
Yeah,
made they made a Packers team in in Lambeau look foolish. They
yeah,
defeated them there with just 7 points allowed. They allowed very few points to a Lions team that has been one of the best offenses in this league and has one of the best running backs in this league.
true.
I think that the Eagles defense can stand up. I do worry about the Eagles offense, and especially because of the conditions out there, you're not going to be throwing the ball around a bunch. Again, the rush is going to matter. I'm going to take the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's going to be a close one, though. I'm taking a 21-17 Eagles win.
Ooh, low scoring. Okay,
Low
that's fun.
scoring.
One of us is gonna look like an idiot.
Yep.
And I hope it's me because I'm like still hanging on to that Jordan Davis hot take from the beginning of the year. I feel like anything I mess up, I'm just like, yeah, who cares about that? Remember what I said about Jordan Davis? So I hope it for just like ego's sake, I hope you're right and I'm wrong.
Yeah. Let's break down the seating here, Jake, because
Okay, yeah,
we're at 3 right now. The
right,
Eagles are about an 84% chance right now by some models to be in that 3 seed. But
right.
as we talked about, there's still opportunities to move up. The farthest you could move up would be to the 2 seed. It's going to take some help. We're going to need some help.
Yeah,
And it's pretty much a do or die situation when it comes to that 2nd seed for the Eagles. You have to win out. You have to win out to
right.
get this. And you're going to have 2 losses from the Bears. Now, the Bears, they're playing
Right.
some tough teams, San
That's
Francisco and the Lions. So
that's the saving grace.
there could be something to play for here. And I personally think that the Packers choked away a pretty assured victory.
That onside kick. How what are you
Yeah,
doing? Like
yeah.
the statistics. I think it's like there's an 8% chance you recover an onside kick this year. It's like
Hmm.
it's nothing. So
Yeah.
for them to lose that game was like, if I feel so badly. You lose Micah Parsons and then you lose that game because that's like their Cowboys,
Right.
their version of the
Right.
Cowboys. Those fans have just got to be just
In misery.
inconsolable right
Yeah.
now, and I feel for you because again, as Eagles fans, we've certainly been there relatively recently.
Yeah. And Bears fans are feeling the exact opposite.
Yeah, right. Finally for them, right?
They actually one of my buddies from up in Pennsylvania. We've actually met Riley. We went to a Phillies game with Riley one time.
Oh, he's a Bears fan.
He is a
Oh,
Bears fan.
that
He's
poor
from Chicago. He was at the Bears.
Ah.
He was at the Bears Packers game and was sending me
Oh.
photos of it, saying, "There's no way. We're cooked. We're done. We're
Yeah,
out."
right.
And then he's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this just happened." I mean, what an incredible throw from Caleb Williams to win that
Yeah,
game.
true.
But okay, I still think there's a possibility that the Bears can lose the last 2 because the Lions, at least right now, have something to play for. The Panthers, we really can't fall to the 3 seed unless the Panthers
They
win
have to
both.
win out.
We would
Yeah,
have to lose out.
lose out.
So that's why I think this game on Sunday, Jake, matters even more for the Eagles.
Huge
Just
game.
lock up at least that 3 seed because
And then if it becomes something where it's out of the question, then you just rest everybody. It would be the best of both worlds. If
right.
if the Bears lose, then you're like, oh, we're playing for that 2 seed. If the Bears win, you just know you're resting everybody. It would be ideal if we can somehow crawl out of Buffalo with a win.
Yep, and it's important for the Eagles to get as many home games in the playoffs as possible because they have only had in the last 17 years, I think, one road playoff game. It came against the Chicago Bears on the double doink.
Yes, right.
Road playoff
Thank you,
win.
Alex Henry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, to Cody Parkey
No,
actually. It was Cody
Parkey. I got
Parkey.
the wrong former Eagles kicker. My bad.
Yes. So the Seahawks and the Bears, if they lose their division, that would mean they'd fall out. We could end up playing them in the first round of the playoffs. I don't anticipate the Seahawks losing. That's just my take right now where
Yeah,
they
they
are.
have an easier schedule too. Like I really think that Rams Seahawks game felt like the number one seed
Yeah,
playoff game.
It did.
Playoff
Yeah.
game. And what can you say? Seahawks figured it out a way to win.
They figured it out. So these are the opponents that we've got, Jake. But I want you to give me your list. Who would you like to face most? Who would you like to face least? Let's go in order.
So give me the Bucks.
Oh wow.
I would out of everybody, and I had a long think between the Bucks and the Panthers.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking that I think I'd rather. I hope Baker's not listening. I think I'd rather play Baker than Bryce Young right now, which is crazy
Wow.
to say, but I think I would because Bryce Young, he's got that like what Caleb Williams is finding, where you're just like, how did he do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe he just did that. Baker's a better quarterback, but he doesn't have as much of that.
Right.
And that is not something you want in a playoff game. You want predictable. You want, honestly, like, not that, now this is going to sound weird because the Rams are the team I want to play the least, but you want Matthew Stafford.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's a known commodity. He's not going to like, he just had a 60-yard scramble on us. Like he's not going to do that. He's a known commodity. You know what you're going to get. You know he's going to hit every single throw on a rope.
You know what you're trying to defend against.
Right, exactly. And with Bryce Young, he did it in this last game. He just like ran around back there for like 10 minutes and then threw up this artillery shell and it was perfect. And that's the kind of stuff. And it's a reason I don't want to play the Bears because Caleb Williams has it too. You don't want that in a playoff game. And listen, we're going to get that with Josh Allen this weekend. So we're going to get at least a taste of it.
So you're going Bucks as your I want to play them.
I would
Panthers.
want to play the Bucks. Yeah, Bucks. Give me the Bucks. Then if not, then give me the Panthers. Then give me and here's another one I had a long think about. I think I'd rather play the Lions than the Packers. Strictly just defense. It was just a question of like I think we can score on the Lions easier than we can score on the Packers.
Okay.
And now I might have to tweak that if forgive me.
Jordan Love?
The running back for the Packers. Hey, Jordan Love too, if Jordan Love's not healthy, but
Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs, thank you. If Josh Jacobs isn't healthy, then and if Love's not healthy, especially, then those probably flip, and I'd rather play the Packers. But I'm assuming the roster's at full strength. I'd rather play the Lions.
Yeah.
After the Packers, I think I'd take the Niners. I really don't want any part of Christian McCaffrey. But I think we can make Brock Purdy sweat a little, which is why I think they're more beatable than the Bears, which would be my next team. Because obviously we saw how that went this season against the Bears, and the Bears did that at our place. In all likelihood, we'd be going to their place. So that's not ideal. No. And then, in my opinion, the two best teams in the division right now, Seahawks, Rams. I have the Rams as the hardest if Devontae Adams is healthy.
Okay.
If he's not, I might have a think about that and switch those. But as of right now, if you have a full healthy squad, I don't want to have Adoree Jackson covering either Puka Nakua or Devontae Adams. It's just
Yeah.
not. We're not going to have a good time if
Yeah,
that's the case.
that's a fair point. My list looks a little bit different, Jake, but
Ooh, okay.
it's similar at the top. I think that generally there are tiers here, and that
Yeah,
the
right.
Rams and
I
Seahawks
felt
and
that.
Bears are going to go up.
Right.
I would like to play the Lions the most. I think that they
Ooh, that's
have
a hot take.
I think that they have a very gettable defense. I think that they have not been as consistent on offense as of late, and I just don't think that they have right now the playmakers, especially on defense, to get it done. And we've already proven we can beat them at home, and
Yeah.
that would be the situation you'd be into. I would take the Panthers next. The
Okay.
Panthers again scare me. Going back to last season, you may remember the Eagles were basically one drop from losing that game to the
True.
Panthers. Um,
True.
and they took them down to the wire. That was really on the back of Bryce Young doing exactly what you're scared of, making plays
Yeah.
on the run, getting out
And
of sacks and throwing it downfield.
that was a worse Panthers team too, like a
Yeah,
much worse Panthers team. So
it
like
was.
that, you make a great point.
Yeah. So then that one next for me, it's the Packers. I don't want to play Jordan Love again. I think he's kind of getting the monkey off his back a little bit. They've stacked more wins recently. Obviously, they lost to the Panthers this year. They've lost to some teams that
Right.
you expect them to win against. And but I think that Packers defense is still really good, even without maybe their best player in Micah Parsons. I think that they're still very stout, and I don't like Josh Jacobs. I don't want Josh Jacobs around me, and I think that we didn't play all of their wide receivers the first go around either. I think
That's true.
Dobbs
Yeah.
is really good. I think Christian Watson can be really good. I think Reed out there can be really. They have the talent. I really think to make a run
Yeah.
here, and they showed it. They were playing with Malik Willis, and they almost beat the
And they were
Bears.
still moving the ball. Yeah.
Still moving the ball. So I would say I don't want to play. I don't want to play them. The next for me is the Bucks, and I only
You
say
put
it's the
some
Bucks.
respect on the Bucks name. That's interesting.
I'm only saying the Bucks because they have just that little knack, right? To come up in the clutch. Baker just has that it factor when the bright lights are on. He can make those
Yeah.
plays. I still don't love facing their core of wide receivers. If healthy, Ibuka scares me.
See, yeah, that's where I take your point there because when we played them, they were missing. I forget if it was Godwin or Evans.
They
They were
were
missing
missing
one of them.
Evans, I think, and Godwin. Maybe
No,
both.
one of them played. One of them played. I
Godwin did
forget
play.
who.
I don't think Evans played.
Evans didn't play. But yeah, because then you get into a situation where you're like, it's like the Rams, where you're going, okay, well, we have Quinion, so he'll like eliminate, call it Evans or Abuka. And then you're like, okay, well, that means Adoree Jackson's on the other one. That's not great.
Right.
I take your point there.
Yeah, and I think that their defense is underrated. They haven't been performing up to the level that they might like right as of
Right.
late, but I think that they can be good. Next for me, it's this is strange maybe to you, but this is I don't I think the Seahawks are the least of the last three. So it's
Really?
to me it's Seahawks, Bears, Niners, Rams. And I'll
Wow.
tell you why. I'll tell you
That's
why.
crazy.
The Seahawks, I think they have the talent to make you hurt, but I don't trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs.
Huh?
Period.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
trust him in the playoffs. Last year, I think this is a repeat of Sam Darnold's previous season with the Vikings. You win a bunch
Could
of
be.
you win a bunch of games. You had a horrible season that preceded this one. You win a bunch of games because you have a really easy schedule. You are playing in one of the better divisions in the league. That don't get me wrong there, but they're falling into some of these wins. The Rams game, I don't think they should have won that game. And
Yeah, they didn't win it because of Sam Darnold. You could
They
say
did
that.
not
I
win it
mean,
because of Sam Darnold. They pulled it off. I think their defense is good, but I think in pressure situations, I don't know that they're going to be able to come through with the win. I hate playing in Seattle. I do. I hate playing in Seattle, which
Yeah.
would be the case if they end up in that one seed. But I would like to play them more than I would like to play the Bears, who I think are I don't love that rushing attack going
yeah, that
against
scheme, man.
going
It's
against
that
Swift.
That Ben Johnson offense is just I hate that.
Yeah,
He's so good. And look no further than the Lions, right? Like last year, unstoppable offense. This
yeah,
year, stoppable offense.
right.
There's one change, and it's Ben Johnson. He's in Chicago. Last year, Chicago Bears offense, stinky. This year, oh my God, they're incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Ben Johnson.
Right. That's the difference there. And I don't want to take anything away from the play of Moore on the outside and their other receivers. Like
Right.
that's a really tough receiving core to go against, and their defense has been playing really well. But I don't trust Caleb Williams in the playoffs either, which is why I don't put them at the top of this list.
Interesting.
For me,
Yeah.
it's the guys who have proven they can get there, the Niners and the Rams. They have proven that they
Interesting.
can get deep into the playoffs. The Niners, I don't want to face them even at our place again. I think that that's just a
Right.
recipe for a potential disaster. George Kittle is still on that team. You've got Jennings that's still on that team. You've got a bunch of guys and McCaffrey, of course, playing with Brock Purdy. That's a sound nucleus that's healthy again. On the other
Yeah.
side, Fred Warner and everybody on that defense. And then the Rams, Matthew Stafford. I think in the NFC, he's the best quarterback left. I think he is the
Yeah.
best of all of the quarterbacks left. And
Right.
especially with a receiving core that you mentioned, if Devontae Adams is back, I think that's the biggest threat to us. Puka and Devontae, that second receiver. And then that running game, Blake has been playing
Blake
really well.
Corum, yeah,
Blake
is
Corum's
even
been
he's
playing
like
really
Tank
well, and
Bigsby. He's like it's like the exact same thing.
yeah, and the other was it Williams is their other running
Kyron
back.
Williams,
He's
yeah.
playing really well too. So there's no slouch on that Rams team. And the Eagles went down to the wire with them early in the season.
Yeah.
Whenever there's that emotional game, it's tough to repeat that result. I think history shows us, but a
Yeah.
lot to play for. A lot more exciting weeks ahead as we close out the 2025 NFL season. We're almost into 2026, Jake. This is crazy.
And I just want to say, just for the record, let's get it all out there now. Bucks fans are gonna really have a go at me if they do well, and Seahawks and Lions fans are gonna come after you. So let's all just pray that they all lose first round, so we can just keep our dignity intact.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Or not even make it at all. Some of them might not make it.
Ooh, yeah, true. That's spicy.
Well, now it's time to talk some baseball, Jake. And the
Yeah,
big news from the bank is that Matt Strom, unfortunately, has found a new home. We kind of saw this coming, though. He heads to Kansas City in exchange for Jonathan Bolin.
yeah.
And so, what was Strom making? What does this mean for
So
the team?
we would have owed him 7.5 million this year.
Okay.
And here's my thought that there were three guys that we have like this weird surplus of really good lefties.
Okay.
You had Strom, you had was it
Alvarado.
Banks and Alvarado.
Yeah.
And you're looking and you're going, we don't need three of them.
Yeah.
So one of them's gonna go. Alvarado's not the best candidate to trade because he didn't really play last
Right.
year. So you want to keep him. You're looking Banks or Strom. And here's why I think it's weird. If you're just saying, Jake, pick if you'd rather Banks or Strom, I'd pick Strom.
Hmm.
But the kicker is Strom was going to take $7.5 million. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I wonder, is this a cash clear out to get JT to sign?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that you could be right. Yeah.
No deal with him yet. We'll talk about this later. They're actually evaluating the trade market, which is kind of big red flashing alarm bells. Deal is not closed. Deal is not closed. So is this a, let's pay JT more move? Might be. And if that's the case, I think good job. It's worth it. If not, I think we might have lost the wrong guy.
Yeah. Maybe. What do we make of Bolin in exchange?
So I would give this probably a B
Okay.
right now
Okay.
with the potential to be A. I think Strom is the better pitcher. Bolin is younger
Hmm.
and I think has a higher ceiling,
Yeah.
but Strom's floor is higher. So
Got
it's
it.
like it's a riskier move. You have a riskier pitcher in there.
Yeah.
Right now, Bolin's kind of just above average statistically speaking. Strom's well above average,
Right.
but Strom's older. Strom doesn't really. I don't think he has any more like completely electric shutdown stuff anymore.
Hmm.
Bolin maybe has the potential to get there
Yeah.
where Strom doesn't. So this could end up being an A move, but right now
Hmm.
I'd probably give it like a B minus,
Yeah.
just based on current standing.
It's a C plus for me, Jake, and I'll say that
Yeah,
because you're losing a guy who I think means something to this clubhouse and has given
true.
you good stuff in clutch spots, and is somebody you could depend upon. I mean, going back to the series against the Dodgers, he was in there in some tough moments, and anytime it was like you knew once he got to the mound, all right, everybody can relax a little bit. It just
You know what
it
you're gonna
had that
get.
feeling,
Yeah,
yeah. And you don't know what you're necessarily going to get out of Bolin. You say his
very
his
true.
stats are a little bit above
He's
average,
he's
but
just above average. He's pretty much a replacement. He's like an average bullpen arm in this league right now. But he's
Kansas
he's
City's
got
not
some
making it to
growing
the
to do.
postseason as of late. Am I right?
So yeah, but they're I think they're close. And so this move makes sense for them.
I mean, he
It's
doesn't have
just
playoff experience as much.
correct. Yeah, for
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
talking Sorry, I thought you were
Bolin.
talking about Strom.
No, no,
Bolin
no.
for
Yeah.
us, yeah, is inexperienced. But again, it's the trade really hinges on, does that cash flow bring JT back? If it does, I go, never mind, this is a great trade.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, that's when I start looking around going, somebody screwed up big time.
Right. Right.
So hopefully, like the media report, and again, like we don't have any special sources in the front office or anything. I don't know how close the deal is. The reports say it's not close.
Hmm. Okay.
So that kind of worries me. If it's closer than we think, and JT just wants 3-4 million extra, then this deal, like I said, this B minus becomes like a B plus A minus for me. But
Hmm.
right now, I don't see it. So
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I think we knew that this sort of a deal was on the horizon. Not something
right,
that's totally a shock. You
true.
say we got three in there. You got to get rid of one. I think this was maybe the most likely of the
Do,
three.
do you want me to stir the pot a little bit?
Okay.
I think so. Do you remember when Kirkering, how we went out of the playoffs? He sailed that
Yeah.
ball to first base.
Oh, do I remember, Jake? Of
Yeah,
course I remember.
sorry, I didn't want to bring it up again. I was trying to do it gently, but whatever.
He's stirring this
Um,
pot. He said he was. He warned us.
Strom was very vocal, if you remember, in the fallout of that, saying we haven't done enough defensive pitching drills. That's not Kirkering's fault. That's on the coaching
Hmm.
staff. He
Okay.
was like the guy hammering that. And listen, I'm not coming after Strom for doing that, because
Yeah.
speak your piece. If he
Yeah.
doesn't think they were prepared enough,
Right.
he has every right to say that. But from a front office perspective, if you're like, I've got these three guys we can trade, and one of them's been a real butthead in the media lately, it kind of tips the
Yeah.
the scales a little bit.
Yeah.
So while again, like clearly this isn't a fan decision, it's a front office decision. And Strom was kind of cooking the team a little bit. So I don't know. I wonder if that had something to do with it.
He's wondering, folks. And you
I'm
know what?
wondering.
You know what? He's thinking, wondering. Hey, I think that there's other positives coming here. We've got some more bullpen help.
True.
Uh, Talk about the new acquisitions here.
Yes. So okay, I'll get Zach Pop out of the way. Zach Pop is like, this is a weird one for me. We gave him a 40-man spot, and I don't know much about Zach Pop. I only know stats. And he had over a 4 ERA in the minors last year in like 20 something appearances. So I look at that and I go, why are we guaranteeing him a roster spot? It was a major league deal. If we push him to the minors, he'd have to clear waivers. It felt weird to me. Um, so I don't love that deal.
And don't be fooled. Despite the name, he only listens to country, Jake. That's what
Yeah,
I've heard.
right. True. And listen, like it's a tough last name, but you spread the genres out a little
I
bit, Zach.
know.
But the one I'm more intrigued about is this Kyle. I don't even know how to say it. It's like Bacchus, I think.
Bacchus.
He's maybe
Bacchus. No idea.
Bacchus. Maybe if he's German. But he's like Strom light. It's
Okay.
kind of interesting. He's a lefty with a weird arm slot, and he kind of his delivery kind of looks Stromish.
Hmm.
So it was almost like, don't worry, fans. I know we're getting rid of one of your favorite relievers, but we have his like evil twin,
Yeah, his doppelganger.
Bacchus, from
Yeah.
Arizona to come in and throw some sinker ball. Listen, statistically, he's not as good as Strom, but if you haven't seen him pitch, it's very Strom-like. So
Strum-esque,
aesthetically,
yes.
yes, aesthetically, if nothing else, we have a Strom-esque pitcher in our bullpen for the coming year.
Well, we talked about it, but this opens up this possibility if we're doing some wishful thinking, which we love to do. That
That's all I do. That's
that
all I
there
have. All I have is hope.
that's right. That there could be a reunion with JT and the Phils. If not, we are hearing the Phillies are evaluating the catching trade market.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's at least give it a thought. If no
I,
more
I've
JT behind the plate, who do we
I've
have out there?
I've been dreading this
Mm,
all day. This moment where you asked me to talk about, if not JT, then who?
yeah,
Here's the problem. If you said, Jake, who do you want?
right.
And to make it clear, I don't have any stake in like the money.
Right, of
So
course.
I don't care. I'd go out and get the best guy, and I'd go get like a Will Smith, a Wilson Contreras, something like that. That's not the reality, folks.
No, no.
That's not who we're
We're
looking
not the
at.
Dodgers.
We are the problem is, and here's the thing. I love baseball. I'd call myself a bigger baseball fan than a football fan. There are some names on this list that I like. There's one name on this list I didn't even know. Like I had to look him up, which is not good. When you're
No.
trying to replace JT Realmuto, you're having to look up his potential replacement. Um, so I
Yeah.
Listen, here are the four names that I'm seeing in reports. This is not who I want. This is
Right.
who it looks like we have called about.
Okay. Okay.
Pedro Pajes. He hit 230 with 11 home runs with the Cardinals.
Okay.
That's probably your, unfortunately, best offensive option of the four that I'm seeing the most.
Hmm.
He's a solid fielder. He's an above average framer. Good.
Yeah.
JC Escara. This is the guy I didn't know.
I don't know him.
He was like the Yankees, like second or maybe third. I don't know. The Yankees had a weird catcher thing going on where they were like using a bunch of guys. JC Escar hit 202 with 2 home runs with the Yankees.
Quality.
Statistically, plus framer and pop time, but he's like really cruddy at blocking,
Okay.
which is not great. Like
Yeah.
you're a catcher. That's kind of your job.
Yeah.
So that's worrying. Not really a lot offensively. Connor Wong, who I don't want to put any disrespect on Connor Wong. I don't think he offers a lot.
No, I don't either.
190 hitter,
No
no
homers.
pop at the plate, below average statistically when it comes to defense. I really hope it's not this one. I'm just gonna put that out there. I just don't want to move on and never hear the name Connor Wong again. Lastly, Jose Trevino, better at the plate, 238 hitter, plus framer, but he's got the below average pop and block. And what I think we probably take for granted, excuse me, as Phillies fans, is that JT has the best pop time in the majors. The best.
Yeah.
Not like really good, it's the best. 1.86, which if you're a
Crazy.
catcher at like even like the high school level, you're going, oh my God. Like under 2 is really good.
Yeah.
1.86 average is disgusting.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
and like none of these guys, to be clear, are even approaching that. JC Escar is above average, but he's not 99th percentile good. And you want to talk about caught stealing, JT's in the 95th percentile. So you're not getting that with any of these guys
No.
either. He's maybe not better at the plate year over year, but like he hit 257 last year, which for him wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
And the best hitter on this list hit 238. So like this is why I said when we started having this discussion, who was your biggest free agent to bring back?
Yep.
JT. And this is why, this list, because he's like a unicorn. There's not really any other JTs. And by the way, if you're a real stats nerd, they keep sprint speed
Hmm.
tracks. He's in the 76th percentile in the league.
Which for a
He's a
catcher is
catcher.
crazy.
He's a
Yeah.
catcher.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
He can still get
So,
some bags on
right,
occasion.
like, and it's just not a thing that you get
Mhm.
from pretty much any other catcher except for Garrett Stubbs, who's also in our organization.
Yeah.
So like, this is what I want to ask you, Marshall, because this is how I feel. I would rather just roll the dice with Marchand over any of these guys because keep
I
in
agree.
mind, we'd have to give something up for these
Yeah.
guys.
To acquire them. Yeah.
So, like, it now, granted, that might be Marchand or Stubbs, so it wouldn't be like it'd be like a like for like swap, but still, I would just rather roll with what we have, which is not a great option. I think it would be a gamble in a win now mode like we're in
Right.
to run with Marchand, but I'd rather roll the dice with him than go lose some type of capital to get these guys.
I've never felt like I've never hated what he's given us. I
No,
think he's been serviceable. I think his defense is decent. I think his
he
bat has been
he's
there at times.
he's above average statistically when it comes
Yeah.
to defense. He'd be like a Carlos Ruiz,
Right.
minus like those one or two seasons when Carlos really hit the ball.
Hmm.
I don't think you get that from Marchand.
Yeah.
Um, but he'd be a like honestly that's why I don't want to trade him. He'd be like one of these guys, a glove first,
Right.
not really a great hitting catcher.
Yeah.
So what you already have one. Why would you go out and get one of these guys? That's my thought.
I agree. I don't see a reason to make a big move here unless your big move is re-signing JT. Like at the catcher spot right now, I think that's the move. If it's not JT, then we move on, stay put, just keep moving, forget
Yeah.
about it, take our lumps, and let's see what we've got in Stubbs and Marchand and move on. Because you're right. Looking at this list,
It's
barring
bleak. It's
yeah,
bleak. Every team knows that like with a good catcher, your Will Smiths, your Wilson Contrerases, they know what they have.
yeah,
So you want them, you're
yeah,
gonna have to give up a lot of capital. And the
yeah,
problem is we don't have a lot of prospect capital. We
right.
have like our biggest prospect probably is gonna start in center field. So
Hmm.
like you don't really have like that marquee guy to give up.
Yeah.
So this is what you're left with. And to put it frankly, I'm not excited by any of them.
Nope, not
So
either.
if you're listening to this front office, just pay the man, give him his 3 years, because the
Whatever.
the alternative is not great
Give him
from
his
where
three
I'm
years
sitting.
because you need him now. That's a
Right.
problem for
You're
later. You
you're
need him
giving
right
him
now.
for a yeah, you're giving him I understand why a 2-year deal for an aging catcher is more appealing, but listen, I'll eat that last year. If imagine if we go win a World Series with JT behind the plate. I don't care if he hits 4 in
Yeah,
year 3. I
yeah,
won't care.
yeah,
Let him hit 4.
yeah.
I let him
Exactly.
be injured all year in year 3. I don't care.
Yep. Get me the
If he
ring.
wins us a ring, and I think he can, he's like one of those guys that can win you a ring.
Yep.
Just pay the man. Pay
Again,
the man.
we've been talking about it all off season to this point, Jake. What is your philosophy? If your philosophy is retain, improve, stack, make your roster
Go
better,
again. Yeah.
let's reload, then that is what you need to do. Get JT back here. You've already
Yep.
done that with a
Got
big
Schwarber.
move in getting Schwarber. What is the harm
And
now in getting the band back together?
and he's gonna be here until he's like 40 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So what's at the end of it? Who cares? We're gonna be old. That's what happens.
Yep.
But you're in a spot where we could win now. So let's go win now.
Yep. Let's do it. Uh, Jake, one more bit of baseball news before we hit the road
Yeah.
and move on to Buffalo. The the old first baseman, Bryce Harper, is
Yeah.
going to play in the World Baseball Classic
How about it?
after missing the series in 23 because of Tommy John surgery. What are your thoughts on this one?
So this is I have such trepidation with this whole thing because so Schwarber's playing in it, full disclosure. But like for Schwarber, it's great because he's a DH. So it's
Yeah.
almost like just like live batting practice for
Yep.
him, which is awesome.
Hmm.
With Harper, here's my concern. If he plays first, then I'm all on board.
Hmm.
This is great. Do
Yeah.
it. My concern is I'm looking at that World Baseball Classic roster and I'm like,
Where's the
they
right
could
fielder?
really, yeah, they could really use another corner outfielder.
Yeah.
And if they put him out there, that is like my nightmare. I don't know if there's any like how much like player control there is. Like, can he go in there and say, I don't want to play corner outfield? I don't know,
Right.
like the vibe in there.
Yeah.
Um, I just worry, like they stick him out there and he crashes into a wall or he like throws out his arm or
Hmm.
something and he's missing for the first 3 months. That would be worst case scenario. But best case scenario, again, it's like Schwarber, you get the live batting
Right.
practice. You come in with some semblance of like that game scenario, which it takes hitter. You see the stats in April of the MLBC. It takes them a little while
Yeah.
to
To
warm
get
up,
going. Yep.
and that could be like a jump start to our hitters in Schwarber and Harper. So it could be good, but it could be really really bad.
Yeah. Who else do they have on the roster that could play first base right now, Jake?
So
Have you
so
looked at
that's a
that?
that's a good question. I haven't looked into that as much. So and it really depends on what they do with Aaron Judge.
Okay.
Because like and the Yankees kind of move him all around in the
Right.
outfield.
Right.
If he plays right, then I'm less concerned. Then I'm like, okay, Harper's probably playing first.
Yeah.
But if they put him in center, that's when I start going, uh-oh, that
Hmm.
like I think it'd be the best team would be him playing in like right.
Yeah. Is
And
Trout
that's
on this
when
team too?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
The
So then you could
honestly,
see him playing center.
right. If you're a baseball fan, and like there is a Pete Crow Armstrong too,
Okay.
who might might,
He
might
could
play
play.
center.
Yeah.
But the problem is an ideal scenario would be like, oh, put Harper at DH. Well, there's another Philly at DH, so it's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not gonna happen.
Speaking of catchers, Cal Raleigh and Will Smith are on the U.S. team,
Hmm.
so that's nice. But again, like right now, if Harper plays first, you're probably looking at an outfield of Corbin Carroll, Crow Armstrong, and Judge.
Okay.
Um, but again, like I don't no disrespect to Corbin Carroll, I'd rather play Bryce Harper. Uh, so
Yeah.
again, like, do they put uh Schwarber at first? Because that like he's played there before.
Hmm.
It's again, I just don't know what kind of like vibe is in that clubhouse. Can
Hmm.
they say I only want to play first? I only want a DH. I don't know if they could do that, or they could say it, and the coach could be like, "Well, screw you. You're on my team.
You
You're
would
gonna play where
think
I tell you."
you would think these are the guys that are making the most money in the league, and these
Right.
are the guys that are the faces of this sport. I mean, you're
Right.
not. I don't think that ego is going to be off the table when it comes to
Yeah,
the
sure
decisions made
isn't.
here.
Yeah.
And so I think a Bryce Harper could walk up to a manager, whoever it is, and say,
Right.
"Yeah, no, I'm not going
Please
to play right
first
field."
base. But the thing
Yeah.
is, see, I think Harper's like the best parts of Philly, but
Hmm.
bad for us in that sense too, because he's not going to say that. He's going to be like, put me
Oh, I
wherever
can do
I'm going to
anything.
play.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I know you can, but you shouldn't. The thing I am happy about is that we don't have any like major pitchers on the U.S. squad. I haven't really looked into all the other ones like Dominican Republic or any of that
Hmm.
stuff, but
Hmm.
for the pitchers, there's no Phillies pitcher. Pitching is where you're like, that's a lot of strain on the arm that doesn't
Right.
really need to be there.
Right.
Catcher too.
Uh-huh.
We don't even have one right now, so it's
It doesn't
whatever.
matter. Yeah.
But yeah, so I love the World Baseball Classic. I want to put it out there. It's not like in soccer. I'm a huge soccer fan. The World Cup is above the
Right.
leagues.
Right.
So you don't care if
Yeah.
like, your guy gets hurt playing in the World Cup. It's the World Cup.
Yeah.
The World Baseball Classic isn't like that for me. It
No.
is. I would love to. I'm gonna watch every U.S. game and I'm gonna cheer the U.S. super hard. But it's not worth it to me to lose Schwarber or Harper to go beat like Greece or
No.
or whatever.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be an interesting watch, especially. I just love anytime Schwarber picks up a bat, and
it is electric.
Gonna feel so much better knowing that he's also going to be on the Phillies next year playing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not watching him going like, what could have been.
Right. And then, Harper in there, I think that's going to be good for him. He kind of was up and down at points this season, and like you talked about, getting him in the mix with the bat will be good. I'm excited to watch and see where we head from here. No Trey Turner in this one, right? This is
as of now, no. So I don't know if the rosters are actually finalized yet, but right now they have Bobby Witt Jr. and Gunnar Henderson.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, and Bryce Terang for that matter.
Okay.
So I'm thinking probably not.
Yeah.
Unless maybe one of those, like injuries could happen. I'm sure he's probably high on the list to get a call up, especially after the year he had last year. But I think as of now, he's not on the list.
Who's at second? Is it Mookie?
So that would be Bryce Terang, I'm thinking.
Oh, Bryce Terang. Okay.
Yeah, and they probably put Gunnar Henderson at third. Okay. With like I said, with Bobby Witt Jr.
Right.
At short. Like it is fun. It's like in MLB The Show, like with the Diamond Dynasty. It really is like it has that feel because like think about this.
I have every one of these players in Diamond Dynasty, by the way.
Amen. Like, think about this. You have Skeens, Matthew Boyd, Skubal, like Garrett Clevenger.
Yeah.
They're all on the same. Mason Miller, Bednar, Webb, like they're all on the same team. It's fun. It's super fun. Yeah. It's just every time like Harper, goes out there, I'm just like, don't touch him, don't hurt him.
Yeah. He's fragile, please.
Yeah,
please.
Right. Yeah, put him in bubble wrap.
Well, hopefully the Eagles will have to get some bubble wrap for Josh Allen after they pummel him on Sunday in Buffalo. We are excited to watch the outcome of the rest of the football season, excited to see where the Phillies season heads after this World Baseball Classic coming up. And we will be here with you through it all as we traverse from 2025 into 2026 and another potential Eagles championship run.
Let's go.
We'll be here for it. And we're, like I said, just really, really excited. Hey, happy holidays, everybody! It's good to be.
It doesn't get better than this, does it? I mean, late December, playoff football's coming, baseball's coming back in 2 months. This is just it's one of the best times of the year.
Best time of the year for sure. And with that, we will see you next week for the love of Broad Street.